Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about Manipur protest, why it happened and what was the reasons. So let's start. See, you might already know this. This is Mary Com. She tweeted this. My state, Manipur, is burning. Kindly help. These are some of the images of the Manipur protests. It took a violent turn. See, the army has been summoned to control major violence that has ripped through Manipur's capital, Imphal, where multiple vehicles and several places of worship were torched. Most affected areas were sorry, Churanchandarpur and Imphal. This is the second largest district in Manipur, and Imphal is the capital of Manipur. See, you can see this here is Manipur. Its capital is Imphal. This is a district view of Manipur. See, the most violent protests were in here Imphal and yeah, here Churanchandpur. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm very careful about it. But yeah, Churanchandpur. Yeah. While speaking to CNN, Mary Com, I think almost every person in the world knows who Mary Com is, explained how bad the situation is in Manipur. She said, "From the bottom of my heart, I appeal to center and state governments for ensuring safety of everyone. The situation in Manipur is very bad and anything can happen." The boxer added, "People are suffering in the state." So she requested the center government, which is the BJP, to control the situation in Manipur, the violence. So let's talk about the reasons why the protest happened. See, violence broke out during tribal solidarity march called by All Tribal Students Union of Manipur (ATSUM) in Torbang area of Trunpur. This is where the protest started to protest the demand of non-tribal merits who dominate the Imphal Valley for scheduled tribe. See, I'll tell you. Give me a second. Huh. See, here, the reason for the protest. As you can see, this is Manipur's demography. Out of in most of the people living in Manipur, 53% of the people are Metis. Metis is a community in Manipur which is called the non-tribal community, and it accounts for 53% of all the population in Manipur, while the 40% of population in Manipur is tribal. So what happened was the Metis people wanted themselves to be recognized as ST or scheduled tribe caste, and they demanded it, and so they went to High Court of Manipur and almost all courts, and they were approved for the ST list. So now the Metis people are a part of the ST community. And to how do you say, and to like reject the decision, because the tribal people who were original from Manipur were very unhappy with this decision of Maitri people choosing to be ST. Let's talk about Maitri people a little more. Maitri people, also known as Manipuri people, are the predominant ethnic group of Manipur. They speak Metis, or that which we call Manipuri. The Metis primarily settled in Imphal Valley in the region through a sizable population in other states in Assam, Tripura, Nagaland, Meghalaya, and Mizoram. So, the Meitei people are called the original people from Manipur, and they wanted themselves to be recognized as scheduled tribe (ST). But with the original tribal people, for example, Mao, Rugma, Paula, these people, almost every single of one of them, which is like 40% of the population, they were against it. Why? Because they didn't want, because, okay, first of all, let's talk about why they want ST category. See, yeah, the Manipur court recently directed state government to consider inclusion of Metis in ST. This had led an outburst from tribal community who are actually ST. The Awesome, again, I said the student union, had called for march in 10 hill districts in state to oppose movement for this. So the some people, student union wanted to oppose this move in 10 districts. Just so you know, there are total 16 districts in Manipur and there are youth protests in 8 of them. Tribal villagers from remote area came in buses, open trucks to nearest hill district headquarters to attend the rallies. In Naga-dominated Senapati town, the district headquarters with the same name and located about 58 kilometers from Imphal. So the people came to the headquarters just 58 kilometers from the capital of Manipur, which is Imphal. The local bodies forced total shutdown of market and suspension of public transport from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So they said that every shops should be closed in order to maximize the protests because a lot of people were coming. So they wanted more space, and so they were like close the shops so they can do the protest. It was originally supposed to be a peaceful protest, so they could do peaceful protest more nicely, as you can say. Thousands of tribal who make 40%, again as I said, 40% of state's population joined the procession, waved placards and raised slogans opposing status for Methi community. Representation of Senapati District Students Association also met the deputy commissioner and apprised him of their concern. Again, as I said, this was peaceful until then, but now let's talk about why they wanted ST. Why the Mathri people want ST. Want themselves to be scheduled tribe. See, the Scheduled Tribe Demand Committee, Manipur, which is spearheading the movement for inclusions of Methi people in the ST category, said the demand is being not merely for reservations. See, when you are ST, you get a lot of reservations like jobs, education institutions, and tax relief. But according to them, they don't want it for all these, but more to protect their ancestral land, culture, and identity threatened by illegal immigration from Myanmar, Bangladesh, and people from outside the state. See, why? As you can see, this is Manipur, and you see here. This is Bangladesh, and so illegal immigrants come to Manipur. Here is Myanmar. Manipur shares border with Myanmar, and people come from there too. So when they come and they take up the original Manipuri people's land, and this is very harmful, right? And so they want ST category. They want to be part of the ST category, the Mathri people, so that they can protect their ancestral land, is what they are saying. At Chanpur, second largest town in the state, people defied prohibitory orders and gathered at public grounds and took a rally till Tuibong. Prohibitory orders were clamped for an indefinite period in the town last week for violent protest. See, what happened was, as the protests were going on, there was like the police and the army said that this were the rules. But the tribal people actually broke those rules and they started doing violent protests. Security forces rushed to the town from other parts of Manipur to control the situation after the vandalization of venue, CCC, I'll tell you. This is where the next day, CM of Manipur was supposed to give a speech, and the stage was burned by the tribal community. And after this, the protest became very violent. Before this, it was pretty peaceful, but after this, it became very, very violent. Curfew was imposed in 8 districts of Manipur. Out of 16, 8 districts were in curfew, and mobile internet services were suspended in the entire northeastern state. So, in Manipur, in the entire northeast, meaning Manipur, had no internet for 5 days. No internet for 5 days. Army was requested on May 3 night and to be enforced till May 4, further orders of extension. On Wednesday night, a joint force of army and police interviewed and managed to control the situation on ground. With additional force coming in, the violence was further checked by morning. So the police and army controlled it to some extent on Wednesday, and again when we are talking about this, we are talking about 2 months ago. So till May 4, I think police controlled the situation a lot. The police worked very nicely in this situation. Police fired several tear gas to control the mob. So police had to fire some tear gases to control the mobs. But yeah, look, this is the CM of Manipur. He says, since 24 hours, some incidents of clashes and vandalism has been reported in some places. These incidents are a result of prevailing misunderstanding. He's saying this is a misunderstanding between two sections of our society, the Maithili people and the tribal community. This, look, this I think is CM. Look, I'll tell you. Yeah, you see, the CM of Mizoram also wrote a letter to our Home Minister Amit Shah, and he said had a lengthy and fruitful conversation with Honorable Union Minister Shri Amit Shah and Honorable CM of Manipur N. Biren Singh Ji. I sincerely hope that the peace will be restored in Manipur. Why? Because you see, if there is protest in Manipur, of course there is going to be protest. Like the effects are going to be there in like other states like Mizoram and other states as well. So while the tribals see, and why like just imagine how powerful the Methi community is. The tribal people have more land in the area. So I think about the tribal people have about 90% of the entire land, despite their population being only 40%. But the Methi people have a huge population as well. So they have like 53% more votes than normal tribal people. And in the legislative seat, in the as of political power, 40 of the 60 seats in the legislative assembly were Methi seats, because they are like 53% of the population. So 40 out of 60 seats is of Methi people. The state government made repeated attempts to undo the limitation placed upon Methi people regarding land ownership through legislation. So of course, the state government want to appease Methi people as well because of the huge number and the big vote bank. So yeah, they made repeated attempts to undo the limitation placed on Methi people regarding the land ownership. Why? Because like if you don't already know, when like let's say you want to buy a land, and if that land is owned by a tribal person or an Adivasi, like in Hindi, then you have a lot of limitations. Like the Adivasi get a lot of reservations and a lot of advantage in terms of land buying, and that's why the Methi people want to buy the land, and they want to protect it. So of course they need to be ST, because only then can you compete with like the tribal people, right? Yeah. And yeah, that's all for today. I hope there are no further protest, or even if there are protest, they are a bit non-violent. Yeah, that's all for today. Yeah, and goodbye.